观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎您收看本期的华尔街 CEO 专访，我是芳芳。今天我们在纳斯达克有幸邀请到美国癌症治疗先锋科技公司 OncoSec 公司的创始人兼 CEO Punit Dhillon 先生来做客我们的节目。Punit, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Emily.
Congratulations on the opening bell this morning.
It was a great milestone for the company.
So we know OncoSec is a biopharmaceutical company that focuses on developing the cutting-edge DNA-based cancer immunotherapies. So at the beginning, would you like to give us some background information of this new technology?
Yeah, sure. So company was it's been formed only in 2011. So it's a biotech company focused on these cancer immunotherapies, like you said. The background in terms of the technology. So what we're doing is using this, what we call immunopulse. It's a hybrid of a drug and device. We're combining both, and we're advancing a leading portfolio of different gene therapies. And all this hybrid of these two drug and device components really is about stimulating the body's own immune system to target and eliminate cancer. So that's why we call it an immunotherapy. We are interested in advancing, or right now our clinical development is focused on 3 different clinical programs. One is in head and neck cancer, one is in metastatic cancer, metastatic melanoma, and the other is in triple negative breast cancer. So those 3 programs are our lead programs using IL-12, which is our lead product development, but there's also a large portfolio of other therapeutic candidates using the same platform.
Great. So the IL-12 is the core technology of your company. And the reports shows that the clinical results are quite promising. Would you like to tell us the current status of this technology and what's your next step?
Right, so we've completed phase 1 clinical trials and phase 2 clinical trials in metastatic melanoma, and now we're about to start a new phase 2B study where we're combining our IL-12 along with leading immunotherapy in collaboration with UCSF and Merck. And Merck is supplying the PD-1 Keytruda, and we are combining PD-1, anti-PD-1 along with IL-12. What we hope to offer in this unique combination is addressing the potential non-responders to PD-1. What we recognize in the immunotherapy space is there's a certain group of patients that are responders to immunotherapy, and there's certain patients that are non-responders to immunotherapy. And those non-responders are potentially non-responders because they don't have the right immune cells, or they're known as these T-cell poor phenotype of patients. And what we're trying to do is bring in those T cells. And with IL-12, we bring in those T cells, and we bring in those specific immune cells, and we can potentially convert the non-responders to responders.
So when do you think this technology will be delivered to the market, and when it will start to generate revenues for your company?
Yeah, so I think our near-term commercial opportunity is really partnering the technology, and that's with potentially a multinational that's developing a checkpoint inhibitor like PD-1. That's where the company has opportunities to license it out and have a revenue positive kind of event. The commercialization or making the product available more widely to the market is still dependent on completing registration trials. So we're still a few years away from that. But in terms of the near-term catalyst for the company is complete the trials, generate the data, and then licensing out our lead IL-12 program, and then allow room for other therapeutic candidates to make their way into our development pipeline.
IL-12 technology becomes a hit product in the future. Would you like to merge with other big companies, or you would rather stay independent?
I think that's a great question. I think we're not against unique M&A opportunities that lead to advancing our pipeline. I think near term, our focus is really to take advantage of the versatility of our platform. IL-12 is one of many different combinations and of products with other immunotherapies. And I think we recognize today in the cancer immunotherapy field, there's no single panacea for cancer treatment. Immunotherapy is finally making its way into being potentially the treatment backbone for the majority of cancers. In the next 10 years, we'll probably see 60% of cancers being treated with cancer immunotherapy, but most likely it's combinations of different drugs. So we're looking for unique synergies and trying to make sure that we exploit our platform in the right way to advance it in treating these variant a number of different cancers as well as the different route of administration.
I see.
Yeah.
So OncoSec just listed at NASDAQ last month.
Yeah.
And the market capitalization is about $100 million right now. However, the company has not been making any money yet. So when do you think the net income of the company will turn positive?
So I think the near-term catalyst for a net income, a positive income inflection point for the company is really around commercialization through a partnership or licensing, I should say, through a commercial partner. And having that kind of partnership event allows some of the other biodollars associated with having a positive cash flow influx to our balance sheet. That's going to be the near term. I think in terms of our goal is to move each one of these products through its development milestones, and each one of the products represents a unique licensing opportunity. Over time, I think that becomes a unique target in terms of OncoSec as an entire portfolio for a multinational.
So on your website, you said your motto is calculate the risks and don't be afraid to take them.
Yeah.
So for OncoSec, what are the risks right now?
Yeah, so like with any drug development company, I think
Sure.
the risk is associated with until a drug is proven to be safe and effective or commercialized, there's always these risks associated. We, as a company, have continued to de-risk through the different trials that we've advanced. So phase 1 and phase 2 data have been positive. I think it's given us a lot of broad understanding of what this platform's utility is, and specifically with IL-12 and what success we've had with metastatic melanoma. I think what we're expecting now is the data that generates out of the next coming trials in terms of head and neck cancer and triple negative breast, as well as the combination metastatic melanoma program. It really provides an opportunity to continue to de-risk it for an investor. Risks are always going to be there. I think that's why I say you have to take calculated risks, and we're continuing to advance a platform that's very safe and effective, shown to be generating positive data, and it has a lot of versatility to tackle the immune system or kind of harness the immune system to tackle cancer.
So the last question is about yourself. You founded OncoSec and many other organizations such as the Youth Entrepreneurship and the Leadership Launchpad.
Yes.
So why do you have this passion for nurturing young entrepreneurs?
It's a great question. So So YEL, the Young Entrepreneurship Leadership Launchpad, the reason I was so passionate about that, one, I met two fabulous colleagues that started that program with me, and they really opened that opportunity up. It's really unique to be in a position like I am. I'm very blessed to be able to be running a public company and getting that experience at such a young age. I've been in the biotech space for 16 or 17 years now, and kind of moved my way up the ranks, and had the interest of starting a company, but it was also because of that unique experience. And I think it's the exposure and experience, providing that kind of outlet to young entrepreneurs. I mean, these are grade 11 and 12 students,
right.
And providing them the leadership training and exposure in terms of what happens in the real world. I think it really helps in maturity, confidence building, and their pursuit of higher education and post-secondary education.
Punit, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Emily.
Thank you. 好了，感谢您收看今天的节目，我是芳芳，我们下期再见。